The alien general stood in the center of the training arena, her armor shining under the bright white lights. She was known across 3 star systems as a fearless warrior, a woman who never lost a fight, a leader who could crush enemies with her bare hands. Everyone respected her. Everyone feared her. So when she announced that she would test a human today, the soldiers around her laughed quietly. They thought it was a joke. Humans were small, soft, and slow compared to alien warriors. This test, they believed, would end in seconds. The general, named Vereen, crossed her arms as the arena doors opened. She expected a nervous man, maybe shaking or sweating, maybe begging for mercy before the test even started. But the human walked in calmly, step by step, like he had nothing to fear. His name was Aaron. He wore simple clothes, no armor, no weapon. His eyes were quiet, focused, almost too calm for someone standing in front of the deadliest warrior on the base. For some reason, Vereen felt something strange inside her chest. She tried to ignore it. "Human," she said loudly, "your test begins now." Aaron simply nodded. No fear. No panic. This annoyed her. She moved fast, so fast that most aliens could not even see her first strike. Her fist shot forward, aiming directly for his shoulder. It was not a killing blow, but strong enough to send him flying across the arena. She expected to hear a grunt of pain, but Aaron stepped aside at the last second, calm, smooth, like he knew exactly where the hit would land. Vereen blinked in surprise. She had not held back much. A normal human should have fallen already. The soldiers around the arena whispered, "How did he dodge that? General Vereen never misses. He should be on the ground." Vereen tightened her jaw. This was not entertaining anymore. This was irritating. She stepped forward and moved again, this time faster, harder, with more speed than before. She aimed at his chest, then his legs, then his head. Every strike was strong enough to knock down a trained alien fighter. Aaron dodged each one. He did not run. He did not stumble. He did not even breathe loudly. He moved like someone who had seen this exact fight before, for the first time in many years. Vereen felt a spark of actual curiosity. What kind of human was this? She increased her power. Her next hit slammed into the floor as Aaron stepped away again. A crack spread across the ground like a spider web. Dust rose from the broken stone. Soldiers gasped and stepped back. Still, Aaron stood there, calm as ever. "Are you done warming up?" he asked softly. The arena fell completely silent. Vereen felt her chest burn with anger and confusion. She had been mocked before, but never by someone who fought without fear. It was strange. Instead of wanting to crush him, she wanted to understand him. This was dangerous. She moved faster than ever, pushing her body to full speed. Her attacks blurred, her kicks and punches creating sharp echoes through the arena. She was a storm of movement, a living weapon. And then Aaron lifted his hand. He caught her wrist. The strongest warrior in the base froze in place, her arm trapped in a human's grip. She tried to pull back, but his hand did not move. It wasn't a tight hold. It wasn't painful. It was gentle, almost careful. But she could not escape it. Her heart thumped once, loudly. No one had ever stopped her like this. Aaron finally released her wrist and stepped back. "I don't want to hurt you," he said. The words hit her harder than any punch she had ever taken. The soldiers stared in open shock. Vereen felt their eyes on her. She hated feeling weak in front of them, but something inside her stopped her from attacking again. Her instincts screamed that this human was not normal. He was something else, something she had never met before. For the first time since she became a general, a question formed in her mind. Was she the one being tested? She looked at Aaron, his calm face, his steady breath, his quiet eyes. Something deep inside her chest shifted. This test was supposed to be easy, but now she was not sure if she could even win. The arena was still shaking from the cracks. "General, Vareen had made in the stone floor, but the real shock was the human standing calmly in the center. Aaron did not look tired. He did not look scared. He only watched the alien general with quiet eyes, as if he was studying her instead of fighting her. Vareen hated this feeling deep inside her chest, this strange mix of anger, curiosity, and something she refused to admit was respect. She was the strongest warrior on the base. She had fought metal beasts, armored assassins, and giant war creatures. None of them made her step back, but this one human had already done that, without throwing a single punch. She couldn't let her soldiers see her hesitate. Again, she growled. Aaron nodded almost gently, as if giving her permission. That made her angrier. She commanded the arena to increase pressure. The gravity plates under the floor activated. A loud hum filled the air. The weight in the room doubled instantly. Soldiers bent their knees, struggling to stay upright. Equipment around the arena groaned under the pressure. But Aaron stayed standing. His shoulders lowered only a little. His breath deepened by a single note. But he did not fall. He did not kneel. He did not even look uncomfortable. Vareen felt heat rise in her cheeks. This was impossible. She increased gravity again, 3 times, 4. Aaron placed one foot slightly back, steadying himself. Sweat formed on his forehead, but his body stayed stable. Vareen's eyes narrowed. She pushed the gravity plates to maximum 5 times the standard weight. It was enough to drop a war soldier to the floor. Aaron remained on his feet. His chest rose slowly. His hands relaxed at his sides. His eyes stayed calm. "General," he said softly, "you don't have to do this." She clenched her fists. "I do. Why?" he asked. The simple question struck her like a punch. She didn't know why. Was she trying to break him? Or trying to understand him? The gravity plates glowed red. The entire arena groaned. Vareen took a step forward, her own legs shaking a little under the weight. She hated that Aaron saw it. She hated that she was struggling more than him. She drew her arm back and launched a heavy strike, slow but powerful. Enough to break a steel barrier. Aaron moved his head 1 inch to the right. Her punch missed. She stumbled forward from her own weight and fell to one knee. The soldiers gasped. No one had seen their general fall in years. Aaron took a step toward her. "Stay back," she warned. But he didn't listen. Instead, he reached out a hand, calm, steady, peaceful. "I'm not your enemy," he said. "You're hurting yourself." That made something inside her chest twist painfully. She slapped his hand away and forced herself back to her feet. Her pride screamed inside her head. "You are being tested," she said through clenched teeth. Aaron looked at her with eyes she didn't understand. "No," he said softly. "You're testing yourself." She froze, her heart dropped. She hated how true his words felt. Vareen breathed hard and stared at the human who refused to break. She raised her hand again, but her fingers shook. She tried to hide it. But Aaron saw. He stepped behind her before she even realized he moved. She turned, shocked by his speed. "How?" she whispered. His voice was calm. "You're not fighting to win. You're fighting because you're scared of what happens if you lose." Vareen's breath caught in her throat. No one ever spoke to her like that. No one dared. "What do you know about fear, human?" she hissed. He met her eyes. "Enough to see it in others." The arena grew silent. The soldiers stood frozen. Vareen stood frozen. Aaron stepped back, giving her space. Not because he feared her, but because he respected her. That confused her more than anything. She lowered her arm slowly. This human, this calm, quiet, impossible human, was shaking something deep inside her. She felt her strength. She felt her anger. She felt her pride. But for the first time, she also felt uncertainty. Her voice came out quieter than she expected. "Who are you?" Aaron looked at her with gentle calmness. which somehow shook her more than violence ever could. "Just human," he said, but Vereen felt the truth. He was something far more dangerous than that. Something she could not understand yet. Something she was suddenly afraid to lose. General Vereen walked out of the arena slowly, her steps steady on the outside, but unsteady inside her mind. She had expected the human to fall in seconds. Instead, he stood tall under gravity that crushed trained soldiers. Instead, he looked at her with calm eyes that made her feel exposed. She hated the feeling. She hated the way her heart beat harder whenever he spoke. This wasn't how a test was supposed to feel. She entered the command hall, ignoring the salutes of her officers. She only wanted silence. She only wanted to understand what just happened. She sat down, staring at her hands. Her fingers still remembered the moment Aaron stopped her attack with nothing but a gentle grip. Gentle. That word did not exist in her world. Before she could think more, the doors slid open and her second-in-command walked in. "General," he said quickly, "the soldiers are talking. They say you held back against the human." Her eyes snapped up sharply. "I did not hold back," the officer swallowed. "Then how is he still alive?" Vereen didn't answer. She didn't know. She dismissed him with a gesture and stood up. Again, something pulled her back to the arena, something she couldn't control. When she returned, Aaron was still there, standing alone in the quiet space, looking up at the cracked ceiling. He didn't seem tired. He didn't seem proud. He just seemed thoughtful. That bothered her the most. She stepped forward with strong footsteps. "Human." He turned, smiling slightly. "General." Her throat felt tight for a reason she couldn't explain. "I have more questions." "I guessed you would," he said calmly. "That tone," she snapped. "You speak as if you know." "Me?" Aaron shook his head gently. "I only know how people act when they are hiding something." Her jaw clenched. "I am hiding nothing." He looked at her quietly, and for a second she felt as if he could see straight through her armor, through her skin, through the walls she built for years. She turned away before he could read more. "I increased gravity," she said, trying to regain control. 5 times. Even elite aliens struggle. "I struggled too," he said. She turned back. "But you did not fall." His answer was simple. "Because I didn't want to." Vereen blinked. "You stayed standing through willpower?" "Through purpose," Aaron replied softly. "I wanted to understand you." Those words struck her harder than any punch. "Why?" she whispered before she could stop herself. "Because you fight like someone who is lonely," he said. Her heart stuttered. No one had ever said something like that to her. Not her soldiers, not her commanders, not anyone in her entire life. She was the general, unbreakable, unstoppable, untouchable. But Aaron spoke as if he could see the part of her she buried long ago. "You know nothing about me," she whispered. "Maybe," Aaron agreed, "but I can see enough." Something inside her broke for a moment, not in a painful way, but in a frightening one. A fragile part of her, hidden for years, felt exposed. She forced her voice to stay strong. "This test is not over." Aaron gave her a calm nod. "Then, test me." She activated the second phase. Wave simulation, a holographic battlefield that recreated real war chaos. Explosions shook the ground. Energy blasts fired from the walls. Beasts appeared from shadows, fast and deadly. She expected Aaron to panic. He didn't. He moved through the simulation with perfect timing, dodging blasts, weaving through attacks, helping virtual soldiers like he had trained for years. His movements were not alien style. They were human style, small, precise, and unbelievably efficient. Vereen found herself watching him more closely than she should. Her chest grew tight every time he slipped past danger with sharp reflexes. The soldiers watching from the upper platform whispered in shock. "He's not normal. He moves like he knows the attacks before they appear." Is he reading the simulation? Vareen felt her chest burn with something she did not want to name. The simulation ended. Aaron walked back toward her, breathing steady. "You passed," she said quietly. He tilted his head. "Did I?" She swallowed. "More than I expected." For a moment, neither spoke. The silence was warm and strange. Then Aaron said softly, "General, your heart is shaking." Her breath froze. He shouldn't have noticed. No one ever noticed. No one ever got close enough. She stepped back quickly, almost stumbling. "Stay away," she ordered, but the truth was simple, painful, and impossible to deny. It wasn't his strength that scared her now. It was the way he made her feel. General Vareen stood in the center of the arena, trying to calm her heartbeat, but it refused to slow down. She had survived wars, rebel attacks, and assassination attempts. Yet nothing shook her like the quiet human standing only a few steps away from her. Aaron wasn't loud, he wasn't violent, he wasn't arrogant. But everything about him felt dangerous in a calm, controlled way that made her nerves feel alive. She opened her mouth to speak, but before a word left, the entire base shook. A deep alarm screamed through the halls. Intrusion. Level red. Breach. Beast protocol activated. Vareen's head snapped upward. Her instincts sharpened instantly. An enemy had entered the base, something strong enough to break through reinforced walls. She turned toward the arena doors. "Stay here," she commanded. Aaron shook his head. "I'm coming." "You're not trained for our beasts," she snapped. "You will die." He met her eyes calmly. "Then I will die helping, not hiding." The doors burst open before she could argue. A massive shadow crawled into the arena. Its claws scraped against metal. Its yellow eyes glowed with hunger. It was a Goryx beast, a creature used in battlefield destruction. It was bigger than a tank, twice as strong, and fast enough to tear through soldiers like cloth. It roared, shaking dust from the ceiling. The soldiers outside screamed in panic. Vareen summoned her energy blade instantly. She dashed forward with speed that cracked the ground under her feet. She shouted to Aaron, "Get back!" But the beast was faster. It swung a giant claw at her chest. She tried to dodge, but the beast moved unpredictably. Its strike hit her armor and sent her flying across the arena. She slammed into a wall, the impact ringing through her bones. The soldiers screamed her name. The beast turned toward her, raising its jaws, ready to crush her skull. But someone stepped in front of her. Aaron. He placed himself between the strongest warrior in the base and a killing monster. "Move!" She shouted. Aaron didn't. The beast lunged at him. Vareen's breath stopped, she thought. She was watching him die. But in the final second, something strange happened. Aaron's body changed. His back straightened. His muscles tightened. A faint, glowing line spread across his arms and neck, like threads of white fire moving under his skin. The air around him pulsed once, like a heartbeat of energy. Vareen stared, eyes wide. "What are you?" Aaron caught the beast's jaws with his bare hands. The Goryx beast pushed with all its strength, its neck muscles bulging, trying to snap him in half. Aaron's feet slid back an inch, only an inch. The stone under his shoes cracked from the pressure, but he still held the monster in place. He gritted his teeth, and the glowing lines on his arms brightened. The beast roared in confusion. No alien had ever stopped its bite. Not even Vareen could do that. Aaron pushed its jaws upward slowly, painfully, as if fighting the weight of a mountain. Vareen forced herself to stand, stunned by the scene unfolding in front of her. Aaron wasn't just strong. He was something else, something she had never seen in any species. The beast roared again, swinging its tail. It smashed Aaron across the arena. He crashed into the floor, dust flying everywhere. "Aaron!" Vareen shouted, her voice breaking without control. Before she reached him, the beast lunged again, but Aaron was already moving. He rose to his feet like the hit barely affected him. He sprinted forward with speed far beyond normal human limits. He leaped onto the beast's back and wrapped both arms around its thick neck. And then, shockwave burst from his body, a pulse of energy rippled across the arena, knocking soldiers off their feet, shaking the lights, and making Varen's breath stop. Eren let out a roar raw and human, yet full of impossible power, and twisted the beast's head with all his strength. Loud, sharp snap echoed through the arena. The beast fell. Dead. Silence followed. Total silence. Eren stood over the fallen creature, chest rising slowly, eyes glowing faint white. The light faded from his skin, leaving him looking like a normal human. Again, except he didn't feel normal anymore. He turned to Vareen. "Are you hurt?" Her lips parted, but no words came out. This was the moment she finally understood. This human had been holding back the entire time. Her heartbeat trembled with fear. And something else she didn't dare name. Eren walked toward her slowly. "General," he said softly, "I don't want to fight you." But Vareen finally realized the truth. Even if she tried with all her strength, she could never defeat him. Not today. Not ever. And that scared her more than any beast. General Vareen sat alone in the dim medical chamber, her armor cracked, her breath still uneven from the attack. The healers hovered around her, but she waved them away again and again. It wasn't the wounds on her body that troubled her. It was the human. Eren. The way he stepped in front of her. The way he fought like a hidden storm. The way he protected her with his own body when he didn't have to. No soldier had ever done that. No warrior, no commander. Not even her closest officers, but a human did. She placed a hand on her chest and felt her heart pulse strangely. The beast had hit her hard. But the confusion hit harder. Why would a human risk his life for her? She didn't understand. Suddenly the doors slid open, and her second-in-command rushed in. "General, the human is outside your chamber. He refuses to leave. He says he wants to make sure you're safe." Varen's breath caught. "Send him away," she said quickly. The officer blinked. "He will not go." "Then force him." "We tried," the officer whispered. "We can't move him." Her heart stopped for a second. He was waiting for her? Varen stood, ignoring her pain. "Let him in." The officer bowed and stepped aside. Eren walked in slowly, his clothes torn, his arm bleeding where the beast's tail had struck him. But his eyes were still calm, too calm. "You're hurt," she said sharply without meaning to. Eren shrugged. "I heal." She stared at him. "Why did you shield me? You could have died." Eren looked at her as if the answer was obvious. "Because you were in danger." "That is not enough reason." She snapped. "I am a military commander. You are a civilian. You had no duty to." "I don't need duty," Eren said quietly. "I choose." Vareen felt a small jolt in her chest. Choose. He chose to protect her. She turned her face away, suddenly unable to meet his eyes. Her voice dropped to a low whisper. "You should fear me. You should fear this place. You should fear being near someone like me. Do you fear me?" Eren asked softly. Vareen froze. Her breath stopped. She opened her mouth. But no answer came out. He stepped closer. Not too close, just close enough that she could feel his warmth. Close enough that her heart began to beat too fast. "General," he said, "I don't think you're scared of me." She swallowed. "Then what am I scared of?" Eren's voice was gentle. "You're scared of what you felt when I stood in front of you." Her hands trembled. No one had ever spoken this way to her. No one had ever noticed her hidden feelings. She didn't even understand them herself. "I don't feel anything," she said weakly. Eren smiled softly, like he didn't believe her, but didn't want to push. "Then tell me why your hands are shaking." She quickly hid them behind her. "Back," he continued. "Tell me why you came to check on me, even when the healers told you to rest." Her eyes widened. "How did you?" I saw your shadow outside the hall, Aaron said. You turned away when you saw the soldiers near. May, her cheeks heated. She had thought no one noticed. Why did he see everything? Why did he understand her better than her own people? Before she could speak again, an alarm flashed on the wall. Council summons. Human subject required immediately. Mandatory transfer to research division. Varen's blood turned cold. No, she said instantly. Aaron looked at her calmly. They want to examine me? They want to take you apart, she whispered. Your strength, the glowing energy. Everything you showed today. They will want answers. And they don't care if you survive. Aaron sighed softly. If they need me, I should know. Vareen stepped forward without thinking. You are under my command, my responsibility. They will not touch you. Aaron blinked, surprised at her tone. She had never raised her voice for anyone. She had never protected anyone like this. General, he said softly, you don't have to do this for me. She glared at him. You protected me. I protect you. That is simple. But inside her heart, she knew it wasn't simple at all. This wasn't duty. This wasn't command. This wasn't military protocol. This was something personal. Too personal. Aaron stepped closer, lowering his head slightly to meet her eyes. Thank you, he whispered. Something in Varen's chest broke open. She took a slow breath, trying to steady herself. Stay behind me, no matter what happens. And for the first time in her life, the great alien general realized something terrifying. She wasn't trying to protect the human, because he was valuable. She was trying to protect him because she couldn't imagine losing him. The council hall was a massive circular chamber made of black stone and glowing blue lines. A place where decisions shaped entire star systems. General Vareen had stood in this chamber countless times. She had faced war judgments, military discipline hearings, and even death orders for enemies. But she had never felt this kind of pressure before, because this time, she wasn't defending herself. She was defending the human. Aaron walked beside her, calm as ever, even as 6 elite soldiers followed them with weapons ready. He did not seem worried. He did not seem angry. He only looked thoughtful, almost gentle. Vareen hated how that gentleness made her heart ache. The huge doors opened, revealing the High Council, 5 powerful alien leaders who controlled the base. Their cold eyes focused instantly on Aaron. General Vareen, the Central Counselor said, voice sharp, you brought a human into a secure military zone. Now we learn he carries unknown enhancements. Explain yourself. Vareen stepped forward. He is harmless. Aaron raised a brow slightly, amused. Vareen ignored it. The counselor slammed his hand on the desk. He killed a Gorex beast with his bare hands. Aaron spoke softly. It was trying to eat the general. The counselors turned their eyes to him, surprised he dared speak. Human, another counselor said. Your abilities pose danger to our entire base. We will take you to research division. You will be tested. You will be examined. You will not resist. Aaron looked at Vareen. First, not at the council, not at the soldiers, only at her. That simple choice, looking at her before speaking, hit Vareen like a blade through her armor. If she orders me, Aaron said calmly, I will go. The entire room froze. The counselors stared at Vareen, expecting her to obey them. The soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons, and Vareen felt her pulse skyrocket. He trusted her. He trusted her more than the council. Her voice felt tight in her throat. Aaron, he stood straight. Your command, General. Her chest trembled. Her people were watching. The council was watching. Her entire future was watching. She should order him to go. She should follow protocol. She should obey the council. But she remembered the moment he shielded her. She remembered his hands catching the monster's jaws. She remembered how he looked at her, not with fear, not with doubt, but with quiet trust. She took one step forward, placing herself between Aaron and the council. A loud gasp filled the hall. The counselor stood up. "General Varin, step aside." "No," she said firmly. "You dare oppose us for a human?" "He is under my protection," Varin replied. "If you want him, you go through me." Electric tension filled the room. The counselor signaled the soldiers. "Restrain them both." 6 elite soldiers rushed forward. Their armor clanked. There. Boots shook the floor. They raised stun spears crackling with energy. Varin lifted her blade in an instant. "Stand back," she warned. The soldiers didn't listen. They charged. Before Varin could strike, a warm hand touched her shoulder. "Aaron." "Let me," he said quietly. Before she could respond, Aaron stepped ahead of her. His body relaxed, his breathing slow. "The Genbu." Soldiers closed in from all sides, and then something strange happened. The lights flickered. Low hum vibrated through the hall. The same glowing lines that appeared during the beast fight slowly lit up. Across Aaron's skin white, bright, like rivers of soft lightning. Running under his flesh, Varin's heart stopped. He was activating that power again. The soldiers attacked. Aaron didn't hit them. He didn't punch. He didn't throw anyone. He simply moved. Every spear that came close bent away from him as if hitting an invisible shield. Soldiers swung, but their strikes missed by inches. Like the air around Aaron was bending. He stepped forward, calm, peaceful, unstoppable. The glowing light grew brighter and brighter until the entire hall filled with soft white energy. And every soldier who touched it collapsed gently to the ground, not injured, not bleeding, just unconscious. A wave of shock spread through the council chamber. Aaron looked at the terrified counselors. "I don't want war," he said softly. "I don't want to fight anyone." His voice echoed like a warm wind. "But you will not take me from her." Varin's breath caught painfully in her chest. "Her," he said her. The council stared in fear. They had no command, no order, no courage left. Varin stepped beside Aaron, feeling strangely safe near him, even when he glowed with impossible power. The counselor whispered, "What? Are you human?" Aaron turned to Varin instead of answering. "Should I stop?" he asked her gently. Her heart shook again. "You already protected me," she whispered. "Enough." The glowing light slowly faded from his skin. The hall returned to silence, but nothing would ever be normal again because the council had seen Aaron's true power, and Varin had seen something even more dangerous, her own feelings for him. The council hall remained silent long after Aaron's glowing energy faded. The elite soldiers lay unconscious on the floor, breathing softly. The counselors trembled in their seats, unsure whether to speak, run, or beg, and General Varin, she stood beside Aaron, feeling a storm inside her chest. She had never stood for anyone this way, never fought for anyone this way, never felt for anyone this way, and that terrified her more than any battlefield. The counselor finally gathered his voice. "Human, what are you? How do you carry this power inside your body?" Aaron glanced at Varin before speaking. "I can explain only if she wants me to." The counselor's eyes widened. You obey her?" Aaron nodded. "I trust her." Every word was a blade slicing through the silence. Varin's throat tightened. The counselors looked at her as if she had already betrayed them. Maybe she had. But she did not regret it. Before anyone could speak again, the hall's main alarm activated louder, harsher, shaking the entire chamber. "Warning! Enemy fleet approaching. Unknown ships. High threat." Varin turned sharply. "An attack now?" A young officer ran into the hall, panic in his eyes. "General, a massive force is entering our orbit. We don't know who they are. They're not our enemies, not our allies. Their weapons are charged." The counselors erupted into fear. "Evacuate. Lock down the base." "We can't fight a fleet that size." Varin felt cold dread. The base was damaged from the earlier beast breach. They could defend, but not against an entire fleet. Her soldiers were exhausted, the defenses were weakened. This could mean the end of everyone on the base. She turned to Aaron with urgency. Stay close to me. I will protect. But Aaron placed a hand gently on her arm. Varine, he said softly. I think I know who they are. Her eyes widened. What? Aaron closed his eyes for a moment, listening to something only he could hear. They're looking for me. The words dropped like a bomb. For you? Varine whispered. Why? Aaron opened his eyes again. Faint glow returning for a second. Because I'm not a normal human. I was created trained to be a living weapon. A weapon they lost, and now they've found me. Varine felt her blood turn cold. You mean, all that power? Aaron nodded slowly. It wasn't natural. It was forced into me. Her heart twisted painfully. They made you like this? Yes, he said, and they want to take me back. Varine stepped in front of him instantly. They will not touch you. Aaron gave her a small, sad smile. They're not here to ask. Outside the hall's windows, the sky lit up with fire. Hundreds of enemy ships descended through the clouds like falling stars. The base shook as energy blasts struck the outer shields. The council panicked again, shouting commands that had no effect. Varine grabbed Aaron's hands tightly. You're not going anywhere. I will fight them. Aaron looked into her eyes, and something warm passed between them, something she had never felt before. I don't want you to die because of me, Aaron said. And I don't want you to be taken, she replied fiercely. Another explosion shook the hall. Then Aaron took a slow breath. I won't run, he said. I won't hide. The glowing light returned stronger this time. The air vibrated. The walls hummed. The energy didn't flicker. It burned bright and steady. But if they threaten you, Aaron continued, I will show them the power they gave me. The doors burst open as soldiers ran in. General, the shields are collapsing, Varine raised her voice. Prepare for battle. But Aaron placed a hand on her shoulder again. No, let me go first, she shook her head. Run, you can't. Fight a fleet alone, he smiled gently. I thought you said I wasn't alone. Varine's breath caught. Before she could answer, Aaron walked toward the exit. Each step echoed like a heartbeat. The glow from his body grew brighter, filling the hall with white light. The soldiers shielded their eyes. Varine ran after him. Aaron, he turned at the door. Thank you, he said softly, for seeing me. Not as a weapon. She felt tears in her eyes, a feeling she never allowed. Come back to me, she whispered. Aaron nodded and stepped outside. A massive blast shook the ground as he launched upward, rising into the sky like a shooting star of white energy. He flew straight toward the enemy fleet. And then, the sky exploded with light. Waves of white energy spread across the clouds. Enemy ships shattered. The air trembled. The world shook. It was as if the universe itself bowed under his power. Every alien soldier stopped to stare. Every counselor fell silent. Even Varine's breath stopped when the light faded. The fleet was gone. Aaron descended slowly, landing in front of her tired, wounded, but alive. Varine ran to him and caught him before he fell. You kept your word, she whispered. Aaron smiled weakly. I told you, I'm not your enemy. No, she whispered, holding him close. You're something far more dangerous. He laughed softly. Dangerous? She looked into his eyes. You shook my world.